Asia from Chiron Divine Readings, and welcome to this full moon in Aries reading. So typically I would do a live because I really enjoy doing lives for the full and new moon. However, my schedule has changed slightly, and so I'm doing this recording now. And I'm recording this Friday night, and the full moon is taking place on, well, it will be in full effect on Sunday, but we're definitely in the full moon energy right now. And actually looking out my window, I can see the full moon starting to come together, so that's pretty cool. But nonetheless, I'm still excited to do this reading. And what I'm going to do is start with pulling one card for each zodiac sign to get a sense for what is it that needs to be released during this full moon. And then I'm going to do a full spread for you guys. And I'm excited because I'm going to use my Nightmare Before Christmas deck. And, you know, given that we're sort of in that Halloween season, I figured why not use this deck? And this will sort of be like the deck that I use throughout this month for various things. So keep an eye out. And then, yeah, my Moonology deck, as usual, you know, sort of set the tone for our reading. So we'll just sort of see where things take us, okay? All right, so starting with each zodiac sign, let me go ahead and start some shuffling. So, as I mentioned, you know, I typically enjoy doing these as lives, but due to some scheduling changes, I'm doing this video, and I'm excited because with this full moon in Aries, for some reason I keep going back to the new moon in Aries that we had in the spring, sort of like setting the tone for this astrological year, right? And so one of the themes that's really been coming to me just leading up to this full moon is revisiting our intentions from the new moon in Aries that took place 6 months ago. So, you know, spending the time revisiting those intentions and sort of assessing where we are now as it relates to those intentions that we set. And getting a sense for whether or not, you know, we're on par with what we thought we were going to be doing, or if there are some adjustments that need to be made, or if, you know, there's some opportunities to sort of like start anew, because this full moon will definitely be a great time period to sort of start something new, especially if it's no longer, especially if you feel like the things that you were intending to do before are no longer in alignment with what you want to do going forward, right? And so I know for me, there were definitely some things that changed from that new moon in Aries back in March, and a lot of life events that took place that sort of changed my trajectory. And so, you know, I'm definitely going to be utilizing this full moon as an opportunity to release, you know, the things that are no longer in alignment with what I am working towards, so that I can make room for some new opportunities, right? And so that's sort of been the theme that's been coming up for me this week, and I very much felt compelled to share that with all of you. So if you're watching this, you may also want to do the same. And you know, with this Aries full moon, you know, taking action on the things that are really going to push you forward, right? And using this as an opportunity to sort of release any barriers, let go of any blocks that may be getting in the way of whatever it is that you're trying to create, or whatever it is that you're trying to get started, right? And so with Aries, you know, that being the first sign in the zodiac, the baby, right? You know, there may be some new opportunities, some new ideas, some new actions that you're ready to take, that you're ready to move forward with, but there may be some things sort of getting in the way, right? And so hopefully we'll get some more insight on that when I do the full collective reading. But for now, let's go ahead and get a sense for what each zodiac sign needs to focus on releasing during this full moon that we have coming up. And we're going to start with Libra, since we are in Libra season. Happy birthday, Libras. Okay. All right. So this card right here. All right, so Libra, your message is surrender to receiving love and support. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So for you, Libra, what I'm feeling is that you are the ones who maybe do a lot of the nurturing, right? You're the one who, is making sure everyone is okay, sort of playing hostess, playing mother for a lot of people. And what is being asked of you during this full moon is to sort of take a step back and allow someone else to take the reins, right? Allow others to take care of you. Allow others to demonstrate their love and support for you instead of you being the one to constantly demonstrate it for them. Okay, so really sort of taking that step back and just sort of exploring like what may be triggering you to do this, right? For some of you, it may be a situation where you feel obligated to do so because you're worried about what people will think, or you're worried about like people not I'm getting like people not liking you, or just sort of being worried about just not being accepted, and so you're constantly doing things to sort of demonstrate your love and support for others. And what Spirit is asking from you is to just take a step back and allow others to reciprocate. Okay, Libra, so that is the message I am feeling for you. All right, next up we have Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. And I think that's interesting since you're a water sign of, flow and river, right? Those being two things mentioned in this card. And so what I'm feeling is like just really finding your flow, finding a way to move with the current, right? Because right now, the things that you may be doing are sort of going against it. And it's sort of like, I'm imagining like the salmon swimming upstream. Like that's you right now. You're sort of swimming upstream against the current. And it's like you're constantly putting in this work and effort, and it's not getting you anywhere. And what the universe is trying to tell you is that you just need to stop. Like, don't push so hard, don't swim against the current, just move with the current, because that's what's going to help you in the long run. And you may feel like that's not enough. Like you may be feeling like, but I have to do this. Or you may be feeling like, but what about all of these other things? And what the universe is trying to tell you is that like, those things will get taken care of in due time. What you need to focus on is being in that energy of allowing, being in that Empress energy of just sort of watching things unfold, as opposed to that Emperor energy where it's like do. Okay. So that is what is being asked of you right now, Scorpio. Okay. All right. So next up, we have my fellow Sages, and this card is standing out to me. So for Sag, I have surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open up to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And so similar to Scorpio, for my fellow Sages, it may be a situation where you're feeling like you have to do the work to create the life that you want. Right? Or in order for you to have like a certain type of abundance, whether it be financial, whether it be love, whether it be in resources, you have this idea of what you want, but you're sort of doing all of this work to get there because you're worried about missing out on an opportunity, or you're worried about not having enough. And what the universe is trying to tell you is that there is more than enough. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to push so hard. Like I said, very similar to the Scorpio message. It's like, focused on working through those internal blocks that may be creating the mindset of like having to do so much, as opposed to focusing on doing the actual work. Because the universe wants to, there's a word I'm looking for and it's not coming to me. The universe wants to deliver on on what it is that you're manifesting. However, you know, these internal blocks around scarcity are sort of getting in the way of you seeing those opportunities. And so this full moon is a very, very crucial time to sort of release whatever that scarcity mindset is, release whatever those internal fears or ego that may be getting in the way, so that you can make room for whatever it is that you're actually trying to manifest. Okay? All right. So that is your message. Sorry, Sagittarius. All right. Next up, we have Capricorn, and this card over here is standing out to me. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead with anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. So Capricorn, surrendering worry. Try not to worry so much about where things are going, what you're supposed to be doing. Don't worry so much about your progress. That's what I just heard. And just focus on the here and now. Focus on, like, you know, what you do have. Expressing gratitude for where you are in your process, as opposed to seeing it from a standpoint of, well, I'm supposed to be here based on whatever criteria that you came up with, or whatever, you know, like social standards that really don't mean a lot, that, you know, whatever that may be. Like, you just gotta tune that out, focus on tuning that out, so that you can really celebrate like where you are and celebrate the progress that you have made, because you have done a lot. You have, hit some really significant milestones. Like, that's what I'm feeling for you. And so rather than, you know, looking at it as like, well, I'm not at mile marker 50. It's like, but you're still at mile marker 40, and that deserves to be celebrated. And so that's really the energy that will best serve you right now. Like, don't worry so much about, you know, where things are going. Worry about the here and now. Worry about, I would say, not even worry. Express gratitude. Feel into where you are now, being present, and just showing that appreciation for yourself, because it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? And so, you know, the more you try to push yourself, the harder it's going to be in the long run, because, you know, you're trying to have some stamina and some endurance, right? And the best way to keep that up is to sort of take your time, being present, you know, staying true to yourself and being in the moment. Okay, Capricorn? All right, so this full moon, release the worries that may be ruminating in your mind right now. All right. All right, next up, I have Aquarius, and this card up top is speaking to me. So Aquarius, very similar to Capricorn, surrender stress. So take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. Okay, so for you, Aquarius, very similar to what I shared with Capricorn, just taking a few deep breaths. Actually, let's do that right now, Aquarius. So if you're watching this, Aquarius, or whether it's sun, moon, or rising, let's just go ahead and take 2 deep breaths. So inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. All right, how do you feel? Like, do you feel some tension just sort of, you know, leaving your body? And I was shaking my hands and not even doing it consciously, that my hands, but it's like I'm feeling like there is a lot of tension in the body, right? And so for many of you, you may actually need to do some shaking the energy off of you, whatever is stressing you out, and you know, doing some deep breathing exercises is going to help you right now. So Aquarius, make sure you do that. But in terms of this full moon, just releasing the things that are stressing you, sort of letting go of control. And I know for many of you, my lovely, lovely Aquarius people, that's not very easy, right? Like, you know, definitely easier said than done, like letting go of control. But that's the thing that's going to help you right now. That's the thing that's going to really allow you to release that tension, right? Because being in that constant state of stress is not sustainable. It's not good for you in the long term. And so like physically, it's not good for you. Like that's what I'm feeling. And I think that's why, like with the handshaking that I pointed out earlier that I didn't realize I was doing as I was doing the deep breaths. It's like there was definitely some pent up energy built up in your body that really needs to be released. And if you don't invest the time to really release it, it's going to cause some kind of like illness. It's going to cause you to like, you know, like people get ulcers when they get stressed out. It can cause like pains, like in certain areas of the body. Like if you're someone who has a lot of like back pains, like, you know, that's stress sort of getting pent up. Maybe some stress from the past that's being pent up. And so for you, Aquarius, that's what I'm feeling for you. Like, and I'm really feeling it for you. Which is interesting for me because I don't tend to like tap into my my clairsentience when I'm doing these readings, but for you, I'm really feeling it here. Yes, like you need to just sort of let your body get some rest, and the best way to do that is to let go of the stress that is currently holding you back. Okay? All right, so that is your message, Aquarius. All right, next up we have Pisces. All right, Pisces, surrender procrastination. All right, so now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Take action. Taking action will attract success. And with this being a full moon in Aries, I feel like now is definitely the time to spring into action, right? Like that's what I heard just now, just like spring into action, like doing the things that you need to do to get things rolling. And what I'm feeling is that like perhaps there was some hesitation out of fear. Perhaps there was some just like some worry, some concern about like the success of something, and like sort of getting caught up in analysis paralysis as opposed to just taking the action and just doing it and seeing where it goes. And so that's what is being asked of you right now, Pisces. Like, don't worry so much about where things are going. Don't worry so much about the outcome. Just worry about that first step, and then that second step, and then that third step, and then, you know, evaluate from there, versus getting stuck in this energy of like, well, you know, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if that happens? And like, with my lovely Pisceans, you know, you can definitely get caught up in your imagination sometimes, right? And it can really get the best of you. And so instead of allowing your imagination to demonstrate to you like the worst case scenario, or instead of your imagination sort of taking you down this rabbit hole of like, well, if this happens, this has to happen, and this has to happen, this, like, erase all of it and just focus on that first step. But you have to do something. And, you know, whatever may be holding you back, sort of using this full moon as an opportunity to sort of release that energy of worry and concern, or just releasing whatever it is that is keeping you from the success that you're meant to have at this time. Okay, Pisces? So that is your message. All right, I'm going to do Aries, but I'm going to take a little sip of water. All right, very interesting readings thus far. All right, Aries. So this card over here is speaking to me. So we have surrender to play. I like this for you, Aries. All right. So take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. And what I'm feeling for you, Aries, is that when you play, you create more opportunity for you to tap into your creativity. And your creativity is going to be the thing that you need to push you forward. And right now, what I'm feeling for you is that you're sort of in this like like the cards say, like overthinking, and you're using your logical brain too much, and you really need to tap into your creative brain to solve whatever problem that you may be working on, or to give you the insight that you need to move forward on, you know, a project or with a relationship. Like I keep getting overthinking, like you're overthinking it, like that's what I keep hearing. And what Spirit is asking you is like, just walk away from it. Like literally whatever it is that you're working on, like if it's an actual project, whether it be for work or for your home, like literally walk away from it and do something fun. Play a board game, you know, go for a nature walk, do some jump rope. I don't know why that came to me, but jump rope came to me just now. I haven't jumped rope in at least 2 years, but for some reason that seems to be a message for someone watching this reading. You know, board games, like just doing something that is fun, coloring, you know, doing stuff with your hands so that you sort of get out of your logical brain. Because once you do that, once you sort of shut off like the ego that is attached to that overthinking, then your intuition can come through and give you the answers that you are seeking. But it's hard to give you those answers right now because you're too caught up in like trying to think the situation, trying to think the solution. And like Spirit is like, don't think it, feel it. Okay? So that is the message for you, Aries. All right, Taurus. So I'm going to go to this card for you, Taurus. All right, surrender to non-action. All right. Now is the time to be still and not to act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. It's funny, like it seems like every 2 cards seem to be similar. Like for Aries and Taurus, like it seems to be not the same message, but like sort of some overlapping here. But for you, Taurus, what I'm feeling is that yeah, you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot. And now is like, and I'm feeling that you're tired. Like you've done a lot and you're just ready to take a nap. You're ready to call it quits, and that is totally valid and necessary, and you have earned it. So take the time that you need. Take a rest. Just let things go. Just being like, you know what, it's out of my hands, or you know what, I did the best that I could, and now I'm sort of leaving it up to the universe. I'm leaving it up to God. I'm leaving it up to my guides and angels to take care of the rest. Like that is the energy that I'm feeling for you during this full moon, Taurus. And so so one of the things that I think is important for you to focus on is releasing any animosity is coming to mind, but I'm not sure if that's the word I was looking for. But just sort of like relinquish your control over like what happens next. Just let it go. Just being like, you know what, I did the best that I could. I, you know, gave 110%. Whatever happens next is what happens next. And just understanding that, you know, there isn't any more that you can do to change your circumstances, however that resonates for you. And so it's like the sooner you can accept that, the easier things will be for you. And so this full moon will definitely be a great time for you to just sort of let go of, you know, whatever happens, like, and just sort of leaving it at that. That's what I'm feeling for you, Taurus. Okay, so non-action. You did your best. Now you got to leave it up to the powers that be to do the rest. All right, next up we have Gemini. All right, Gemini, surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by others' strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. So for you, Gemini, I'm feeling like you have been pulled in a lot of different directions. Like you're getting multiple perspectives, like, excuse me, you're getting advice from a lot of different people, and some of it is very conflicting. Like that, like I heard conflicting just now, and what is being asked of you right now is to like listen to your intuition, listen to what your body is trying to tell you, listen to what your heart is trying to tell you. Listen to that little tiny voice, like not the voice yelling like do this, like not that one. It's the subtle voice that's trying to tell you like this is what you need to do. This is the thing that's going to best serve you. And it may be hard for you to hear that little intuitive voice because you're hearing all of these other voices. It's your voice, the ego or fear or whatever it is, is one voice, but then you also have like other people and their opinions, right? Like I'm sort of like feeling like this energy coming from different places of like, there's maybe 4 different people or 4 different sides of the situation. And you're unsure of like, what to do next, or you're unsure of like how to handle it. And the thing is, you do know, you just have to tap into your intuition and really trust that is the thing that you need to do. And once you make that decision, don't go out and ask those other people about whether or not that is the right decision, because they're just going to continue to give you conflicting information. Right? And so you really have to trust that, okay, so if this is what my intuition is telling me, then I need to do this, and just allow the chips to fall. Right? Don't worry so much about, well, what this person is thinking, what that person is thinking, and what that person and that person, like, just do what you feel is the best thing to do, and just allow the rest to, allow the dust to settle. Because if you continue to try to take into account these other opinions, you're going to continue to be conflicted and confused and indecisive, and that's not good for you at this time. Okay, Gemini. So try your best to tune out those other voices so that you can hear your own inner voice. All right. And so this full moon would be a great time to sort of release those distractions, release those other voices, so that you can make room to hear your own voice. Okay, Gemini. All right, very interesting. All right, Cancer. This card over here, speaking to me for Cancer. Ooh, surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. And it's funny, we have another water reference. We have the dolphins here, and they're in water. And Cancer, being a water sign. So what I'm feeling for you is, I'm feeling a lot of doubt. I'm feeling a lot of like, yeah, right. Like that's the attitude I'm feeling for you, Cancer. And it's likely because of like a bad situation that happened recently. Like maybe you expected things to turn out a certain way and they didn't. And so now you're just sort of like, in this like nonchalant energy of like, I don't care what happens. Or in this, or in this energy of like, well, that's not going to happen, or it's not going to be this way, or just like whatever it is that you want, whatever it is, the thing that you're trying to attract, you're sort of in this energy of like, but yeah, that's never going to happen. And the truth is how do you know? How do you know that's never going to happen? Miracles happen every single day, right? And so You know, there is an opportunity for something miraculous to happen for you. But you sort of have to change your mindset. You have to change your current attitude about, you know, what's possible, and not get caught up in like the that energy of like it's impossible, like that's never going to happen. Like I keep going back to that, like it's impossible, but like everything is possible, anything is possible. You just have to believe that it's possible, right? No matter what it is. And you'll be surprised at, you know, what happens. And that's essentially what a miracle is, right? You know, the impossible happening and then being like, oh shoot, like it did turn out this way. And so that's something that needs to be worked on during this full moon for you, Cancer. Just finding a way to release that energy, release that that negative energy, that resistant energy, because that's just going to keep you stuck, and the universe doesn't want you to stay stuck. Like it's like the more you stay in that energy, the more like I'm sort of feeling like just trapped. Like you're literally trapping yourself by staying in that like negative resistant energy. And so the best way to get out of it, to break free of it, is to just be open to whatever happened. You know, I forget which sign I said this for, but like, you know, the chips, just allow the chips to fall, and you know, you may actually be surprised by what happens. Okay, so focus on releasing that negative energy so that you can make some room for miracles. All right, Cancer. All right, so next up we have Gemini. Nope, we did Gemini. We have Leo. I don't know where that came from, but Leo. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accept it exactly as it is. I'll read that again. Compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. That's what it was. Okay. So surrender to what is. So what I'm feeling for you, Leo, is this feels interesting to me, because like this card, like she's sort of like in this sunlight, this energy of like surrendering, and this is also reminding me of like the Sun card, which is associated with Leo, right? And so it's like being vulnerable, like just surrendering to whatever the situation is, and accepting the vulnerability that comes with, you know, being in that situation. And right now, like, you may be trying to do absolutely everything that you can to, you know, cover things up, or to make things seem a certain way, or to hide parts of yourself, and that feels really inauthentic to you, for you, right? And so rather than trying to like paint this picture of being a certain way, just accepting it as like, you know what, this is the situation, it is what it is. And you know, just finding a way to be comfortable being vulnerable. Like that's what the lesson is here. Like whatever the situation is, like this is happening because you're learning how to be vulnerable, and standing tall and proud in that vulnerability. Like, you know, a lot of people see vulnerability as a weakness, and that is the complete opposite. Like when you're able to be vulnerable, and you're able to share, you know, the parts of you that other people may want to keep hidden, that makes you, you know, look braver, because you're willing to put yourself out there. And you know, for you, Leo, like that shouldn't be challenging for you. But I think what's holding you back is the fact that it seems like it's unlike you, or it may be something embarrassing, or it's something that just isn't in your wheelhouse. And so you're trying to do all these tricks and, things to sort of hide the truth. And what's really being asked of you is to just surrender to it, what is. Like, just accepting where you are, accepting the circumstances and working through it rather than trying to hide it. Because when you work through it, you'll actually find that you'll get more support than you thought you would, right? You may find other people who are in a similar situation, or you may find opportunities and resources to help you. And so the reason why you're being asked to surrender to it is so that you can allow the universe to bring in those opportunities. But it's up to you to sort of let go of the resistance that allows you to be vulnerable, okay? And so that's the thing that you need to focus on for this full moon, Leo, is releasing any thoughts and worries about, how people are going to see you, or how people are going to look at you because of, this thing that you may be going through, and just accepting that, yep, these are my circumstances, and, I'm working through it, and being okay with that. Okay. So that is your message, Leo. All right, grab some more water, and then we will move over to our Virgo friends. And then I think that's it, right? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yep. All right, so Virgo, last but not least, let's see. Actually, this card. All right, Virgo. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. All right. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. This is a really pretty card. I like this tree. And this tree is sort of reminding me of the season that we're currently in right now, autumn, fall, and the changing of the leaves, the transitioning from spring to winter, and so for many of you Virgos watching, you're going through some kind of transitional period that is forcing you to sort of release certain identities that you may have been holding on to that just simply are not serving you anymore. To put it bluntly, whatever they are, they're only holding you back. And so whatever this transition is that you're going through, it's not to simply ruffle your feathers or cause any frustration. It's really happening to allow you to make room for this new version of yourself, this new identity, this new way of seeing yourself, that is much more enriching and powerful and empowering, right? And what I'm feeling is that some of you are sort of afraid of this transition, afraid of letting go of certain identities because you're worried about what people are going to think. You're worried about, where things are going, and understand that these things are happening for you, not to you. And they're happening for you to elevate you, to push you further. And the more you resist it, the harder it's going to be for these things, for this transition to happen, because guess what? You can't avoid it. I'm sorry, it's unavoidable. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. And it'll be a much easier transition for you if you just just be open and willing to let go of certain identities, let go of the things, especially if it's something that you have felt obligated to do, or if it's something that you just are sort of doing, because of tradition or family beliefs or whatever the situation may be. If you're not doing it for you, that is a huge indicator of something that you just need to let go of. There's an identity that you need to let go of. I'm sort of seeing this example of if you are someone who, you know, goes to a particular kind of church because your family always goes to that church, but you don't really resonate with the energy there. Like maybe you don't like the people, or maybe you have your own beliefs, but you're just sort of going to appease your family. Like that's the thing that you need to let go of, right? This identity of like, you know, I'm someone who goes to church with my family, or I'm someone who, you know, have these beliefs because my family has these beliefs. But you should have those beliefs because you believe in them, not because the people around you believe in them. It's really about you and your personal identity. And so that's just sort of an example of what I'm feeling, so that there's like a little sub message for some of you, whomever that applies. But, you know, this can definitely relate to one's professional life, to one's love life, just sort of using this full moon as an opportunity to let go of those old identities that just aren't working for you, or the old identities that you're just sort of doing, you know, to go with the motions. Because by letting that go, you're able to just upgrade, right? Like that's what I'm getting. It's like you're getting an upgrade right now, and you can't fully do it if you're, you know, using the energy to stay stuck in a certain identity. Okay. All right. So that was your message, Virgo, and that takes us through all of our zodiac signs. So very interesting readings. I hope that, you know, something resonated. And as always, if your sun reading did not resonate, please be sure to check your moon and rising sign, and, you know, check the description box below for the timestamps, so that you can check all of those out, or just watch the whole thing. And, you know, I'm sure there's a message for you somewhere in there, right? In each of these readings. All right. So now I will transition to our collective reading. So we'll start with the Moonology deck to get a sense for, you know, overall theme for this collective reading. Yeah, I was quite intrigued by all of the individual zodiac readings, I'm not gonna lie. And just like feeling a lot of those messages, like especially with Aquarius, that I felt a lot there. And also there was another sign where I was sort of feeling that tension. Taurus, that was the other one. It was just like, Taurus is tired. Taurus is really tired. So yeah. All right. So again, hopefully one of those messages resonated. And I forgot to mention this before, but please be sure to like this video if any of these readings do resonate with you. And also be sure to share this video with others. And subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed, okay? All right, so our collective reading. Oh, this card wanted to jump out. So what is happening for us during this full moon in Aries? I'm also going to put like a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little button. I can't think of a card. A little card here to link back to the reading that I did in March. I think I did like a spring equinox, Aries new moon reading all at once. And so for some reason, like I'm feeling like there are some connections there. I don't know what they are. I haven't watched the reading since I recorded it, but definitely feeling a connection there. And so I'm going to put a little card for that reading if you want to check that out. All right, so we got 3 cards here that jumped out. So the first one is have faith in your dreams. Okay. You are good enough. And last but not least, prosperity lies ahead. Excuse me. All right. So for this collective reading, I'm feeling, someone following their dreams, like someone taking a leap of faith and doing something that that really pleases them, doing something that will that's very different from what they may be doing currently. And I'm recognizing that there may be some fear around doing so because of for some of you, it may be a situation where you're not sure if you're qualified to do it. You're not sure if you have the education, the experience, background, whatever it may be. Like that's something that you may be questioning or doubting right now. Some of you may be worried about whether or not following your dream is going to be lucrative, if it's going to bring you abundance, if it's going to be financially sustainable for you in the long run. And what Spirit is saying is essentially yes. Like whatever fears you may have, like don't let that stop you. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Have faith that whatever you think is a good idea that can bring in prosperity, like trust that, because it is, and you are definitely worthy of making this happen. And so why are you trying to talk yourself out of it? Like that's what I'm feeling, like you're trying to talk yourself out of a good idea. And that's not going to get you anywhere. That's just going to keep you stuck. And if anything, you're just going to build some resentment later on for not taking that chance, for not taking that risk, for not doing that thing that you've been dreaming about. And so for some of you, it may be like your dream job, right? Going after your dream job. You maybe in the past you were like, well, I don't really have the experience that they're looking for, or I don't have certain credentials. And what Spirit is saying is like, okay, apply anyway. Like, it's that simple, and just see what happens. All right. Or let's say if it's a situation where it's a relationship, like maybe a certain type of relationship or a person that you've sort of been eyeing, and you're like, oh, but I don't know if they would go for me. Ask them out anyway and see what happens. Like you won't know until you try, right? So that is what's being asked of you. I'm gonna trade out my little incense right here, since my one just finished out, which is good since we're doing a new reading. All right, assuming it wants to. There we go. All right. Oh no. There we go. Cinnamon was still trying to burn. All right. So let's see. So trying to do a little bit more shuffling. I've only used this Nightmare Before Christmas deck once, and so the cards are still trying to break them in, so bear with me. All right. One more. All right, so we have the Five of Poisons, which is cups, representing you. So sort of being in this energy of lack. The situation, the Fool, taking a risk, as I was saying. The opportunity, Two of Poisons, so making a decision, like sort of being in this energy of like, do I do this or do I do that? So definitely needing to make a choice. What is the next card I'm going to pull? Challenge. So we have the Four of Needles. And the needles, I believe that's air. Hold on, let me check. Okay, so wanted to confer with the book. And so I was correct. Poisons represents cups. And, needles represents air. So for you, we have the Four of Needles. So needing to sort of needles. Needing to sort of rethink some things, taking a step back, doing some assessing. Okay, so that was the challenge. Blocks. We have the Page of Needles. I'm feeling like some things that are holding you back are like your own inner thoughts, like needing to work through the some inner childhood wounds. That's what I'm getting with this Page of Needles, like some inner childhood beliefs that are holding you back. It's like the block. What is this full moon illuminating to you at this time? The Sun card. That's interesting. Is it 2 cards that we have stuck? Yes, nope, it's just 1. Okay, so we have the Sun card. And so just needing to celebrate, needing to just embrace what it is that you have inside of you and bringing it to life. And then an outcome, we have the Death card. We're not going to leave that there. We have the 5 of Presents, which Presents represents Pentacles. And we have the 2 of Presents. Interesting. And then what's happening underneath here. And we have the 9 of Needles. Okay. Very interesting. So, one, interesting the deck, but also interesting with this reading. Okay, so let's back up. So with the, it was the 6 of Poisons, not the 5 of Poisons. With the 6 of Poisons, I'm feeling this energy of like needing to go back to the drawing board, like needing to revisit some things so that you can fully have an idea of where it is that you want to go next. And so this dream that you have, maybe a dream that you had when you were younger, maybe a dream when you were a child, right? But it's something that that you're still passionate about, something that still comes to mind every once in a while for you. And now is the time to really take some action on it, to take that leap of faith. And if you're familiar with the Nightmare Before Christmas story, I forgot the main character's name, but this guy over here, he wanted to be Santa Claus. He was tired of celebrating Halloween, and so he wanted to be Santa Claus and, turn their little Halloween town into a Christmas town and scared a bunch of children. And, in typical Tim Burton fashion, very dark humor, but still humor nonetheless. And so what I'm feeling, the reason why I mentioned this is like, he really wanted to do something really out of the box. Like he wanted to turn this Halloween town into a Christmas town. It's like, no, we only know Halloween, but he's like, no, Christmas. Like, you know, he was ready to go against the grain, and he did it. Like he executed it. Wasn't, you know, it impacted a lot of people in some interesting ways. But, you know, the fact that he was willing to take that risk and follow something that he was really, really passionate about. And so that's what I'm feeling for you. It's like you know, this is something that you may be feeling like, no, like this really has a lot of potential, or, you know, this is a really great idea. And, you know, you just really need to take action on it. Because what's being illuminated for you, going back to this sun card, is like, there is something magical here for you. There is something, there is an opportunity for you to be really innovative with whatever it is that you are trying to create. And so regardless of whether or not it's going to fit the mold that other people expect of you, understand that it's going to open up a lot of doors for you. It's going to create some really cool opportunities for you. And so by not pursuing it, you're sort of missing out on an opportunity to really shine, to really enjoy yourself, to have a lot of fun. Like, look at this card. Does he not look like he's having a whole lot of fun? And so in order for you to get there, you got to be willing to take that risk and understand that, you know, free will, right? And so the opportunity is totally yours. You know, with this, I'm sort of getting this energy of like, red pill, green pill. Like, you know, do you want to do something really imaginative and creative and out of the box and innovative? Or do you want to continue to, you know, live the life that you've always lived? And it's ultimately up to you, but understand that there's risk either way, right? You can risk missing out on a really great opportunity. You can risk, you know, completely shifting your life and, you know, not really knowing where it's going. And, you know, with this death card, a significant transformation is at hand. But, you know, you have to decide, like, what life you want to live. Do you want to live this imaginative, creative, out of the box life, or do you want to sort of keep things where they are? Do you want to keep things small, right? Oh, and there are fireworks going off outside. I don't know if you can hear them on my microphone, but I feel like that is a sign. Fireworks, especially with this card here, like just things being very colorful, things just being very bright, and just lots of celebration. And so spirit works in mysterious ways, right? But so that's the opportunity. You have this decision to make: red pill, blue pill. But again, like, you really have to think through what it is that you know, want to create for yourself. Like, so really taking that step back and, you know, looking at this idea and spending the time processing, you know, whether or not it is possible. Like, obviously it's going to be a risk, right? But you don't want to necessarily take a leap without having some kind of a parachute, right? And what I mean by that is, like, you have to have some kind of plan. You have to have some kind of action steps. You have to have some kind of roadmap to help you navigate where it is that you're trying to go. And so that's sort of like, that may be the thing that trips you up. Like, that may be the thing that sort of makes you not want to pursue it. And understand that, you know, it's just part of the process. Like, if you do have any situations or issues with, like, not having all of the answers, like, that's okay. You just need to have some kind of a plan. And, you know, the universe will bring in some opportunities. There's going to be some learning that you're going to have to do. There's going to be some work that's going to be necessary. And so, you know, going into it, it's okay if you're not the expert. It's okay if you don't know everything. Just use the information that you do have to move things forward, right? And there may be like multiple people helping you with this learning process. But understand that this is a pretty significant change for you, or this will be a pretty significant change for you, regardless. So whether you choose red pill or blue pill, there will be some kind of transformation on the other side. And it's up to you to decide if you want it to be, you know, this kind of transformation or not. You know, with this transformation, like I'm seeing, because we have the 5 of Presents, the 2 of Presents, and the 9 of Needles. It's like these are very interesting cards. It's like, so with the 5 of Presents, like there's going to be a significant investment involved, regardless of what you do. And it's going to require you to make some pretty significant decisions in the long run, about like decisions. Like, it's not going to be just a one and done situation. Like, you're going to constantly be met with situations where it's like, okay, do I really want to keep moving forward? Do I really want to keep going with this plan? And understand that these are just tests. This is sort of the universe's way of testing you to make sure that you're actually serious. I know it sounds cruel, but you know, you will be grateful for it in the long run, because it's going to strengthen you. It's going to help you build some resistance. As someone who has gone through that of like leaving a job and starting my own thing, you know, there are definitely moments where I was like, you know, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what I should be doing? And, you know, that was just sort of the universe's way of like testing me, of like, you know, do you think you're worthy of this? Do you think that you're ready for this? And that's what I'm feeling for you. You know, there may be some, again, I'm feeling like, you know, getting tripped up every so often, but understanding that these, don't take them as signs that you're not supposed to be doing this. If anything, they're sort of like milestones that relate to your strength. That relate to your transformation, that relate to, you know, what you're building towards. Okay. And so with this 9 of Needles, it's like, don't allow your fears to hold you back. Don't allow your fears to get the best of you. Like, it's funny, like looking at this guy, I'm going to move him a little bit closer. But like, I'm seeing him, and I sort of see him as like this sneaky, like, ha ha ha, like, I'm going to make this challenging for you. And that's what fear likes to do. Like, fear likes to trick us. Fear likes to, you know, paint the worst case scenario for us so that we don't necessarily do things outside of our comfort zone. And you know, all of this is changing you for the better. And so don't allow your fear to get the best of you. You know, don't allow certain trip ups to hold you back. Because remember, this third card was prosperity lies ahead. So there is some kind of reward at the end of this road. You just have to keep moving forward and keep proving to yourself and the universe that you have what it takes, that you are enough, that you can make your dreams come true. All right? Just continue to have faith in yourself as you go along. All right? So I hope that made sense. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to close up with my Archangel Michael cards. I just felt like, wow, these fireworks are really going off right now. All right, so I wanted to pause because the fireworks they literally set off whatever was left and it got really loud. So my apologies. But anyway, closing out with my Archangel Michael cards, just to sort of, you know, shift from some of this dark energy with this Nightmare Before Christmas deck. I don't know why, I just sort of felt drawn to these cards when I was deciding what to include in these readings. So let's see. All right, so we have, you're on the right path. See? Honor and trust your feelings. Yep. Pay attention to your dreams. Can't make this up. And one more card from the top. Admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Again, I cannot make this up. And I've had this deck for almost a year and I've never seen this card come out. So I feel like this is a really big deal. And I'm going to read it again. Admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. So that's it. Follow your dreams. Admit to yourself that this is really what you want in the long run. And then go with it. Don't be shy about it. And don't worry about what other people are thinking or what they, want or what have you. Worry about yourself. Okay? All right. Last card before we close out from my Super Attractor deck. Close it out on a lighter note. All right, this card right here. My super attractor power comes from how I feel, my faith in love, and the joy I put out. So whatever it is that you're doing or working towards or trying to create, it's connected to your joy. And understand that when you by focusing on that thing, you're bringing more joy into your life, which will ultimately bring more joy into other people's lives. I don't know who that was for, but there you go. And then lastly, when I'm in the state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. Oh, it's a beautiful card. All right, so that is the collective reading for this full moon in Aries. I hope that this reading resonated with you, or one of the Zodiac readings resonated with you. And if so, again, don't forget to like this video and be sure to share it with others. And thank you again for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, see you.